Off the coast of Japan, there's an island that looks like a battleship rising out of the sea, a solid wall of gray concrete towers ringed by a fortress wall with no trees, no soil, nothing green at all. For 60 years, it was one of the most crowded places that has ever existed on Earth. More than 5,000 people were packed onto a rock smaller than most city blocks, and then, almost overnight, every single one of them left. Today, it's completely empty, slowly collapsing into the ocean, and for decades you were forbidden from ever setting foot on it. The island is called Hashima, though most people know it by its nickname, Gunkanjima, which means Battleship Island. It sits about 9 miles off the coast of Nagasaki, and it is tiny, barely 300 meters long. There was nothing there but bare rock until someone discovered what lay beneath it. Deep under the seabed around Hashima ran a rich vein of coal, and in a country racing to industrialize, coal was everything. So a company bought the island and started digging, straight down and then out under the ocean floor. To house the miners, they did something almost no one had done before. They built a city straight up. Japan's very first large concrete apartment buildings were poured on this rock, stacked floor upon floor. A seawall was raised around the entire island to hold back the typhoons, and people came by the thousands to work the mines below the waves. At its peak in the 1950s, more than 5,000 people lived on Hashima at once. On a patch of land that small, that meant it was, by density, the most crowded place on the entire planet, more packed than any city that has ever existed. There were apartments, a school, shops, a hospital, a cinema, even a rooftop garden, all crammed onto a concrete slab in the open sea. Children played in narrow shadowed alleys between towers while the ocean crashed against the wall a few feet away. But life on Hashima had a darker side that took decades to come out. The mine ran thousands of feet down, out beneath the seabed, in heat and gas and the constant threat of flooding and collapse. And during the Second World War, hundreds of Korean and Chinese laborers were brought here by force and made to work those tunnels under brutal conditions. Many never left. For years, that part of the island's story was left off the tour entirely. Then the world changed. Japan began switching from coal to oil, and one by one, the mines that had built the country started closing. Hashima's coal was running out and no longer worth the danger of pulling it up from under the sea. The company made its decision quickly. In January of 1974, it announced the mine would shut, and within a few months, the entire population was told to pack up and go. They left almost everything behind. Walk the island today and you find it frozen in that moment. Television still sitting in empty rooms, shoes by the door, school books open on desks, bottles on shop shelves. 50 years of typhoons have torn the concrete apart. Floors have caved in, staircases hang in midair, and the seawall is losing its fight with the ocean. For over 3 decades, the island was completely off limits, too dangerous to enter, a forbidden ghost city rotting in the water. A small part of it has since reopened to guided tours, but most of Hashima is still too fragile to touch, crumbling a little more with every storm. It went from empty rock to the most crowded place on Earth, and back to empty rock again, in a single human lifetime. A whole city built on the sea, then abandoned in a day and left to fall into it. What on earth is really going on out there? Stick around. Next time, we're going somewhere even fewer people have ever seen.